Hello, everyone. It's Melissa from Gildas Club, Grand Rapids. I hope that you're doing well today. It's so great that we can come together on this virtual platform and stay connected. Hope that you're enjoying the end of your summer. It's a very hot day. I hope you're staying cool. We just heard that maybe some of the schools are letting out a little early so everyone can cool off at home. So I hope that you're all safe and well, and that the transition back to school is going well, and that you're finding it just easy and peaceful. So if you're watching today, we would love to know that. So if you just like this post, or if you want to make a comment, if you have a question for one of our presenters today, please let us know. You can post that question right in this post and we'll make sure that we feed that to them. If you found this content really helpful and you want somebody else to know about it, please share this post. We love to share the wealth here at Gildas Club, and would love to talk with anyone who is interested in our free support program for anyone on a cancer or grief journey, or supporting someone on a cancer journey. So we have an action-packed program today, and we have two guests with us. And then we have another segment of our Meet the Staff here at Gildas at the end of the program, so stay tuned. Our first guest is Shannon Lakiri. She is a nurse practitioner and Chief Clinical Operations Officer at the Cancer and Hematology Center of West Michigan. She's got 20 years of nursing and nurse practitioner experience specializing in breast and malignant hematology. She also was responsible, this is a big extra part of your job here, Shannon, was responsible for the COVID-19 emergency plan and transition for patients to ensure safe care into the virtual world. She continues to monitor the COVID infection rates and the CDC recommendations to ensure safe care for their patients. So great to have you, Shannon.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's a lot. You are a very busy woman.
Yes, it was not something that was necessarily planned, but most things, even like cancer, they're not planned, and we just have to make the best of it.
That's very true. And we've learned a lot in this whole process, haven't we?
It hasn't been all bad. There's,
Yes.
I just like the cancer journey, it's very important to find the positives that where we can and where can we grow from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking for that silver lining for sure. Well, we've asked Shannon to be with us today because we wanted to have a conversation that many of you probably are hearing about on the news or talking about yourselves, is this booster, vaccination booster piece that has come across as a recommendation, a conversation starter, conversation ender sometimes, but especially in relation to cancer and cancer patients, people in treatment, people who maybe are a little further out, but still have a cancer experience in their life. So I think we're just going to really start at the beginning, Shannon. And why don't you tell us why are they recommending that people get a booster? Yeah.
So the reason for the recommendation of the booster is you can think similar to an annual flu shot. These are viruses and they stimulate in your body to mount an immune response. So that way, if you come in contact with the flu or COVID-19, you have immunities already in that you can fight it. It doesn't mean that you won't necessarily get it, as we're clearly seeing now with COVID-19, but the chances of you getting it are less, and the chances of it being severe and life-threatening are less. So like with the flu vaccine, we're seeing that that immunity eventually falls off a little bit. And they're seeing about 8 to 9 months that really is the case. And so what you will find is two categories. It's everybody who got the original vaccines, and then it's the group who currently are what we call immunocompromised or a cancer patient, somebody who may be at risk. Now we're just talking about cancer. There can be other reasons, transplant, things like that. But for this conversation, it's really about the immunocompromised in cancer. So they are looking at to say, who is a more worrisome group that could potentially be having more breakthrough. And in the immune compromised group, or somebody who's on cancer treatment, when we give a vaccine, whether it's the regular flu shot, COVID-19, or even some other vaccines, your ability to create the same immune response as someone such as myself, who's not on treatment, is otherwise healthy, is less. And we know that. There was, if you remember back, there was a lot of controversy originally about should cancer patients get it? What's the timing of getting it? And in the oncology world across the US, we very clearly said it's better to give it and at least mount a little bit of response than to have no response. And at first, when we weren't sure about supply and demand, we couldn't time it out to say, well, this is the perfect time, because we all know there's no perfect time for anything. So we know that immunocompromised people who received the vaccine did not get the same benefit as someone who's totally healthy. Therefore, they prioritized the group of people who are immunocompromised or who are on active therapy that could compromise their immune system to be the first ones to get the boosters.
Okay.
What you're going to see probably at the end of September is an announcement that everyone should get a booster approximately 8 to 9 months after their second vaccine.
I see. So you're saying that if you're in active treatment, I want to just maybe drill
Let's
down
clarify.
a little bit, is exactly what does immunocompromised mean if you're in active treatment, or how far out from treatment? Yeah.
Yep, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So if you are on chemotherapy, or for that matter, immune therapy, because I know that can be confusing, you are on active treatment. So, getting IV medications or pill chemotherapy, and I'll clarify that in a second, you are a candidate because we're affecting your body's immune system. Even if your blood counts are doing okay during the chemotherapy, we're still affecting that immune system. Obviously, people who have like a leukemia, or we know you'll hear people get Neulasta, things like that. When we know that somebody has a 0 white blood count or a 1.2 white blood count, we know those people are immunocompromised. So those people, yes, but it's anybody on active therapy. Now, active therapy is not, for instance, a breast cancer patient who's on 5 years of tamoxifen or a Arimidex. Those are not chemotherapies. That's hormonal. It's endocrine therapy.
Yeah. Okay.
But everybody else is. So let's say you finished for your lung cancer treatment, you finished 3 weeks ago, we would still be concerned about you. What we're saying is if you are greater than 3 months out from your active treatment, that you are probably you're not in that first group that should be boosted because your immune system has recovered. I'll put a small caveat to that to say, if you know your doctor has been checking your counts and for some reason they're still low, so if you have any concerns, you call your doctor's office and you say, let's check a blood count. I'm 4 months out, but are my counts okay? We check your counts, your blood counts, your CBC are okay. You do not need to be first in line for that booster. End of September, yes, potentially eligible.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So from up to 3 months out from active treatment to 3 months out from active treatment, that's the first more immunocompromised group of people. And then 3 months out and greater are more looking at that second. But if you have a question, call your doctor.
Yes.
Talk to them. Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. And is there anyone that should look at not getting the booster shot?
No, there is no negative impact to your treatment or your treatment response.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. So then, are there precautions, people who are on active treatment to that 3 months, are there certain precautions they should take around getting the booster shot?
No, the booster shot, actually the FDA announced it is now, it is officially approved. The Pfizer vaccine is, so I know that was some people's concern. There is no longer an emergency use approval. There's a full approval of the Pfizer vaccine. But even with all of them, there is, from a medical perspective, we are encouraging that there is no issue. And now they are saying that there is no reason that you can't have your COVID vaccine and your flu vaccine all in the same day. There before was saying you needed to be 2 weeks out from something. That is no longer the case. You may get multiple vaccines on the same day.
Okay.
Just like when you might take your grandchild or child and they get 3 vaccines all in one day. We know that, and now we know that about the COVID vaccine as well.
Okay. So this brings me to the next question. Which booster should you get if, is there a match?
There is. So there are the current statement, and we all know that COVID has changed every other day for the past 2 years or a year and a half. The current recommendation is if you had a Pfizer, you should get a Pfizer booster. If you had a Moderna, you should get a Moderna booster. Now, here's the one problem that everybody's in a quandary, and that is, what if you got the Johnson & Johnson? And my staff has asked me this question. My patients have asked me this question. There is no clear decision yet, which I know leaves a large group in a perplexed state. Yes. We're hoping that in the next 2 weeks, there is some information that comes from a study, I think it's out of South Africa, but that is looking at what we call mixing of vaccines. Okay. But we're not quite ready. No one's quite ready to make that statement to say you should mix. And everybody is very frustrated that the Johnson & Johnson, the 1-dose vaccine, those people are a little left in limbo right now.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're on active treatment, you got a Johnson & Johnson, hang on, talk to your doctor.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. All right. And
we're just as frustrated as you all.
Okay. Okay. Well, and so thank you for being honest about that. Really appreciate that, because there is a lot of confusing information.
There is.
Which leads me to the next question. I got a couple of questions, but is that where is the best place to get the most accurate information for people? Because there's a lot out there.
I would say the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services in Michigan is the most accurate for current Michigan recommendations. Kent County might lag, or Ottawa County, those counties, the counties usually lag by maybe a couple days with updating their website, but the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is the best place.
Okay. And so then is there information there on where to get it?
Yes, there's actually a link. You can go right to the, it's actually mdhhs.org, and you hit COVID and up comes all these beautiful, and there's where to get vaccine. Okay. There's a link.
And then it'll drill down to your area, your community, and you can do that. Okay.
And you do not need a paper order or anything to get a booster at this point. You can go to Walgreens if they have them, and you just simply have to sign a form saying, yes, I'm getting treatment. Yes, I have cancer, active cancer.
Oh, great. As long as they have your brand of
Correct.
of
They will ask
booster.
you that. Yes, correct.
Okay. And if people, you probably didn't know I was going to ask you this question, but if people have questions, Shannon, can they call your office and
Absolutely.
okay, good. All right. Do they ask for you, or is there someone that just answers the phone that can answer those questions?
They can help answer those questions, or they may ask for me too. That's fine.
Okay, wonderful. Is there a question I didn't ask that I should have? Something that you want people to know?
I think our encouragement of getting the COVID-19 vaccination is, if you think of this like a flu, but a really, really significant, deadly flu
Yeah.
that we want to protect everybody from. You may still get it if you get a vaccine, but the chances are you're not going to be as sick or have a complication. It's just so small. So we want people to be protected and be able to fight their cancer without any other complications. And that's why we're encouraging it.
Okay, good. And this also helps protect against the variants that are happening.
Yes, I should have said yes. The variant is. Yep.
Okay. Oh, good. And we're still encouraging mask wearing, hand
Masking.
washing, and
Yep.
social distancing in addition to that.
Yes. Yep. Especially indoors, you should be doing all of those things, and outdoors being smart.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, great. Well, Shannon, thank you so much. You are a busy lady, and we really appreciate you taking your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're so grateful that we have people like you and the center here in West Michigan helping us to navigate tough medical journeys and keeping us safe. We so appreciate that.
Have a wonderful day.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was a great conversation. And I'm so glad that she could come and help us to navigate some of that. Again, if you do have questions, we will post that Michigan COVID link for you, so that if you have questions about that, or if you want to look to where you can get your booster, you can look at that. And if you have questions for us or you're having trouble navigating that, give us a call, 453-8300. We'll help you through that. So our next guest is waiting. Hello, Miss Lindsay.
Hello, Melissa, and hello, everyone. So great to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, I'm so grateful that you could come on. Thank you for being willing to come and speak for Gildas Club. And Lindsay is the program director. Let me see, director of program operations and relations at Gildas Club. And yeah, just really grateful that you're willing to come and talk with us and tell us about this wonderful event that's going to happen. And
absolutely glad to do that. This is a big week of lots of great things happening in the Lowell community. So honored to talk about Pink Arrow, a little bit about what Pink Arrow is, a little history of Pink Arrow, and how Gildas Club Lowell has been very honored to be a part of this Pink Arrow journey with the Lowell community now for over 12 years.
wow. So
yes.
For those of us who don't know what Pink Arrow is, can you explain what that means?
Absolutely. So Pink Arrow started in the Lowell community about 14 years ago, and it's a fundraiser, awareness raiser within the Lowell community for people who are living with cancer. And it's been an incredible journey, an incredible support and partner for Gildas Club Lowell for over 12 years. Funded in part by Pink Arrow, the Lowell community, and our partnership with the Lowell Senior Neighbors, Gildas Club Lowell has been able to provide free cancer and grief support for children, adults, families, and friends for over 12 years now at Gildas Club Lowell. And so Pink Arrow began over 14 years ago. An idea from the Lowell head football coach at the time, Noel Dean, had this idea to start Pink Arrow. And along with some of the Lowell community leaders at the time, it was a fundraiser to support the Lowell community, people living with cancer in the Lowell community. And the outpour of the Lowell community around Pink Arrow was and continues to be incredible. It is just an amazing sea of pink, as we say, when you attend the Pink Arrow Pride events. And so this Thursday is game day for Pink Arrow. It's Thursday this week, August 26th at 7 o'clock. And it's an incredible event, annual event, and it's because of Pink Arrow, because of the support of the Lowell community and our wonderful partnership with Lowell Senior Neighbors that Gildas Club in Lowell has been able to offer free cancer and grief support for anyone impacted by cancer or grief for over 12 years, right at Gildas Club Lowell.
Oh, that is so great. So it's a football game that they have some of the proceeds support Gildas Club Lowell. How wonderful. It sounds like it's a lot of fun too.
It is a lot of fun. It is. So Thursday, the gates will open at 2:30, and then the volleyball and the soccer games will kick off at 3:30. And then at 6 o'clock, there'll be a survivor, an honorary tribute, very special, really the heart and mission of Pink Arrow. So that's at 6 o'clock. And then the game following the national anthem at 7 versus Mona Shores. So very excited. And again, it's because of Pink Arrow that Gildas Club Lowell has been able to serve the Lowell community and surrounding communities now for over 12 years, you know, to really ensure that anyone who's living with cancer or living with grief knows that they're not alone, that there's support within the community. And one of those venues of support is through Gildas Club Lowell. And so people can come to Gildas Club Lowell and have that support, that free emotional, social support, all ages, and our weekly support groups that take place, workshops, lectures, social events. Our wonderful volunteers in Lowell have been so dedicated to Gildas Club Lowell, and when it's been safe to do so, have provided weekly meals each Tuesday for our members at the Lowell Clubhouse to have a nice supper together prior to our support groups. And so it truly has been a community effort to support one another in the Lowell community, people who are living with cancer of any type, or people who know someone who's died and that's from any cause of death. So because of Pink Arrow, because of the support of the Lowell community and the wonderful community partnerships such as Lowell Senior Neighbors, really the Lowell community is able to have Gildas Club and has had Gildas for over 12 years. We have a shared clubhouse with the Lowell Senior Neighbors. It's at 314 South Hudson Street in Lowell, right near Main Street and across from the Lowell Fairgrounds. Of course, we've been running our virtual program for Gildas Club Lowell now and welcome new members continuously during this time. And it's just been an amazing partnership with Lowell Pink Arrow. We're so grateful to Pink Arrow for the support of Gildas Club Lowell, and also so grateful to the Lowell community for the wonderful partnerships that it truly takes a village to have a Gildas Club.
Yeah.
And Lowell has made it happen.
That's very neat. I love that whole community that has come together to create something to support their community, to sort of shore everyone up and let them know they're not alone. That's really beautiful. And it's
really is.
My understanding that it also extends to the schools. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes. So for all of these years of Gildas Club Lowell, we've also been able to have an emotional support program within the Lowell School District. So really, what an outreach opportunity for our Lowell community and for Gildas Club to be able to share of the importance of cancer and grief support, and really the mission of Gildas Club and making sure that There's a sense of community. People know they're not alone. And that extends to our youngest members and our youth in the district as well. So it's been great to be able to have that partnership within the school system as well as within the Lowell community for over 12 years.
That's awesome. So let's say I'm a person that has cancer and I live in Lowell. What's my first line of, to get connected with the support at Gildas Club? What's the first thing I do?
That's a great question, Melissa. And we know that this is the club nobody wants to belong to,
Yeah.
right? It's such a journey when we're living with cancer and living with grief. And so we honor that that is the experience that's happening, for that person. And we welcome that person to give us a call. Call Gildas Club. Our local Gildas Club Lowell is 897-8600. You could also call Gildas Club Grand Rapids at 616-453-8300. You could also visit our website at gildasclubgr.org. But giving us a call is a great way to start for support. And once you're ready to kind of learn more about Gildas Club and the free cancer and grief support that is available for you, as well as your family, friends, community, the whole network, who's living with cancer and grief, just give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to plug you into some of the support that's available through Pink Arrow in the Lowell community, as well as Gildas Club Lowell, to really help with that sense of community, knowing that you're not alone. There are other people that are navigating and living with cancer, living with grief, and Gildas helps to provide that sense of community and that psychosocial support, which we know is incredibly, incredibly important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, awesome. And if someone is interested, if maybe they're not on a grief or cancer journey, or maybe they just aren't interested in going to the support groups, but they want to give back, maybe they want to volunteer, because I know we just had Ben on as our volunteer coordinator, and volunteers are very important to Gildas Club. How can a person support Gildas Club Lowell if they wanted to volunteer or donate or something like that?
That is great, Melissa. We have such dedicated volunteers at Gildas Club Lowell, and we welcome new volunteers at any point. And anyone who wishes to support Gildas Club Lowell, we would love to talk with you as well. And there are many, many ways to give back, many ways to serve our community. And Gildas Club can help plug you into kind of what's that passion for you. How can we best connect you with what you're looking to give back, whether it's through a donation or through a volunteer experience or through a group that you are connected with. We would be glad to connect with you. And you can visit the website at gildasclubgr.org. You could also give us a call at Gildas Club Lowell at 616-897-8600. And our staff are here for you. We're here and available to connect and explain a little bit more about, or listen to you and hear a little bit more about how you're looking to plug in, and explain a little bit about the current happenings with Gildas Club that we'd love to have you be a part of.
Oh, great. And I want to make a point too, is that if you're worried that we would ask you to facilitate support groups as a volunteer, don't worry about that. We do have a staff of trained, licensed mental health professionals that facilitate those groups. But support can come as somebody just dropped off a bunch of felt for our program, and they had extra at their house. So that's one way. Supplies, all the way to making dinner or doing garden work or something like that, helping out at the Pink Arrow.
That's right.
So there's
Absolutely.
lots of ways. Or teaching, you could teach a workshop, which is a lot of fun too for some people. Not everybody's gift, but so I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that we will help, as Lindsay said, get you into that place that feels good to you, that helps to feed your soul in giving back. Yeah. Well, great. So do you want to run over those details of the game one more time, just in case somebody wants to write those down
You
and
bet.
come to the game?
Yes, so join us this Thursday. We'll be at the Pink Arrow event. It's this Thursday, August 26th. So the gates open at the Lowell High School Stadium at 2:30, and then the volleyball and soccer will begin at 3:30. And at 6 o'clock is the very special Survivor Honoree Tribute that will take place at the Lowell High School football stadium. And then near 7 o'clock, the national anthem will begin with the kickoff for the game, which is against Mona Shores. So we're really looking forward to a wonderful game. Gildas Club will be there. We'll have a booth there. So we welcome you to just come on over, say hi to Gildas Club. We'd love to see you. We'd love to connect. And that will be at 5 o'clock. We'll be at our booth right there at the football stadium at the Lowell High School. So come on over and stop on over and say hello, and we'd love to connect.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And encourage people to wear your masks if you're comfortable doing that. So, and you know, it's okay to be socially distanced and keep yourself safe. But
Absolutely.
how exciting. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so looking forward to this. Yeah. And we're so grateful to the Lowell community and for the support in all of our community in Grand Rapids and in Lowell for the support of Gildas Club and helping create that community where people, as Lindsay said so beautifully, aren't alone, don't feel alone, know they're not alone on a cancer or grief journey. So excellent. Well, thank you. Go. What's the
You
Lowell
say, go
mascot?
Pink Arrows.
Go Pink Arrows. Okay.
Normally Lowell is the red arrows. So on Pink Arrow
Oh,
time, we say, go Pink Arrows.
okay. I love it. Oh, very fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. We're going to make a transition here now, and we're going to interview and meet Lindsay as a Meet the Gildas staff segment. And I'm really excited to do this. Lindsay's got quite a history with Gildas Club. She's been around a very long time. She looks very young. I know she started when she was 5. And, and so I'm just so glad that we were able to do both of these things today, Lindsay. And
Worked out so well, and so pleased to have the chance to talk a little bit about my role at Gildas Club. So thankful to Gildas Club. What an incredible journey this has been to be a staff person at Gildas. I currently serve as our Director of Program Operations and Relations with Gildas Club, and honored to be in this role and continue to learn and grow along the way. I've been with Gildas Club, as Melissa said, for probably over 13 years now. Wasn't quite
wow.
5 when I started, but a little bit younger. And, I started with Gildas Club because as I advanced in my career and through a social work degree, undergrad through Grand Valley State University, and then a master's in social work through Western Michigan University, really had a passion to connect with people going through a medical journey of some sort. And so that's where that passion led me to Gildas Club. I began through an internship with Gildas Club, and have never stopped learning, always continue to learn and grow with our members, with our volunteers, with our program, with our wonderful organization. I think one of the things that I like best about Gildas, or what continues to draw me to our mission, is our mission. It's that helping people in that psychosocial way, whether it's cancer or grief, really being a part of a community that offers that sense of community for people to know they're not alone, and having that cancer and grief support, that psychosocial awareness and connection when going through some of life's tough stuff, such as cancer and grief. So
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to be with all of you today. I'm so appreciative of our community partnerships, and that's one of the great things about my role as well. So such as, for example, Pink Arrow is a wonderful community partnership for Gildas Club, and just really appreciate all of the support of the community to help make Gildas Club possible within our West Michigan community. We're very lucky to have a Gildas Club.
Oh, that's great. So Lindsay, tell us a little bit about you, about, whatever you want about maybe your family or things you like to do.
Yeah, you bet. So a little bit about me is that I am a mom of two young kiddos. So I have a son named Owen, who's 8, and a daughter named Emma, who's 4, and also a dog named Blue, who's a couple years old, little puppy, so much fun.
Not so little though.
Oh, I know, he's a big puppy.
Yeah.
He
Sometimes shows
is.
up on Zoom,
He
right?
does. You just never know when he might be
So,
around. Yeah.
yeah.
And some things that I really, I enjoy spending time with my family, my husband, my 2 kids, and of course, taking Blue for walks. In addition to spending time with my family, I really enjoy singing. I love music of so many types, and singing is one of my very favorite pastimes that has been throughout my lifetime. And also just being outside in nature, going for walks in nature is very one of the things that I just love to do. Going to visit Lake Michigan. We're so lucky we live, near such some of the Great Lakes here in Michigan. So those are some of the things that I just really enjoy.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing a bit about yourself with us. We so appreciate it. We're so lucky to have you not only in the position that you're in right now, but to have this long history with us and really have grown in your career and your knowledge with us and your passion to work with people who are on an emotional journey that need some extra support. Facing that tough stuff in their lives. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Thank you.
so grateful for that and your leadership with us. Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah. And your sweet little family. And Blue, who we do actually see quite often.
We do.
Oh, so our fur babies really show up for us on staff. Maybe that could be a topic for Facebook Live someday, is all of our fur babies that we have at home. We have quite a few.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa, and thank you everyone for tuning in. And what a privilege it has been to meet with all of you and to share a little bit about Pink Arrow, as well as my role here at Gildas Club. So thank you.
That's great. It's so great. It's so good to have you with us, Lindsay. Thank you for taking your time to share about Pink Arrow and yourself. That's really nice.
Thank you.
So for all of you, thanks for being with us. Again, if any of this content you found helpful or interesting and you want to share it, please do that. And if you're new to a cancer or grief journey, or if you know someone in your life that is on a cancer journey and you have questions or thoughts, or you want to get connected with our free support program, please reach out to us. We would love to just talk with you on the phone, get you connected, do what we can do to help support you. 453-8300, or look on our website, gildasclubgr.org. That's all for now. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Be safe.